I'm back in the kitchen and I'm hungry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cook an omelette. Now, I love omelettes. One, because they are dead easy to cook. Secondly, they're cheap. Thirdly, they are highly nutritious. Fourthly, they give me protein, which I need to maintain my muscle, to repair my body, to keep me growing, and basically to help me lose weight. And finally, because you can make them very tasty, okay? Today, I'm not really gonna make the healthiest of omelettes, but it's still fairly nutritious, fairly healthy. I'm not gonna put anything fake or bad into it. The only thing I'm gonna add today, which is a little bit naughty, is a little bit of cheese, but right now it doesn't really matter, okay? As I go down the line of the 30 days, I'll probably start to cut down on the egg yolks, and maybe go to an all egg white protein, because it's the actual yolk of the egg that contains the fat. And remember, fat is, although the fat in an egg is actually very good for us, it still contains high calories. So depending on what my calorie intake is and how much calories I need, which we'll talk about later, don't worry for now, but depending on that, depends on how much egg yolk I put in. So today it'll be probably a double egg yolk and 4 eggs. So we'll have 2 whites without the yolk. Okay, so let's crack on. Let me show you how to cook this omelette. And trust me, get into this. It's easy to do. You can do it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, as a snack, whatever you want. You are gonna love it. So here we are. What do we have on this little tray? Well, first of all, I chopped up some green pepper, because I like it a little bit spicy. And I also chopped up some tomato. Goes nicely in an omelette. Here I've got some mixed spices that I smashed up earlier, mainly a bit of paprika, and I think pepper, and a little bit of salt in there, but not much. Olive oil. You can use butter, a little bit of butter if you want to make your omelette. And I've got 4 eggs, and I'm going to show you what I do with the eggs in a second. And here, because we're going to add a little bit of cheese to our omelette. This is mozzarella cheese, just grated mozzarella cheese. Probably the best cheese you want to have during this 30 days. In fact, I wouldn't have anything else. So stick to mozzarella, some greens, some vegetables, a bit of spice it up, and we're going to start. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to warm up a little bit of olive oil, okay? So my heat is not too hot. And then I'm going to take my eggs, okay? And what I want to do, I only probably want to have, today I'm going to have 2 yolks. But remember, inside the yolk, that's the yellow bit, that's where all the fats are. Now in an egg, you've got really good fats, so don't worry too much. But there is more calories per gram of fat than there is for carbohydrate. So we don't want too much fat going into each meal. But a little bit of fat is good for us, it will help. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the egg in here. You see what I do here? I don't know if you can see it. I'll do it with the next one. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm keeping the egg yolk from going into the bowl. Okay, it's a little trick that my mum taught me. And we don't want that. We want to get rid of that. So I'm chucking that away. The other way of doing it, of course, is to just crack the egg, boom, in there. Okay? And let me just see if I can get this bowl a little bit closer to you guys, just while I crack this one. So I take the egg, I open it up, don't let the egg yolk drop out, whoa, and just slonk it back and forward, back and forward. I don't know what the word slonk is, but you know what I mean. So there you go, so there we haven't lost the yolk into the mix, okay? So we're gonna have 1 more egg. Like I said, I'm gonna have 2 egg yolks today. You might want to start today with 2 egg yolks, and then probably cut down to 1 egg yolk, and 2 to 3 egg whites. Okay, it depends on the size of your egg. So there you go. I've mixed it up. We don't want to mix it up too much. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to whisk that oil round, and I'm actually just going to drop my peppers in there. Okay. So I just want my peppers to go in. I'm just going to get them just cooking a little bit. It's a little bit hot, so I'm actually going to turn the heat down a bit. I don't want it smoking. Okay, when we cook our omelettes, we want to we want to take some care into cooking it. But basically practice cooking your omelettes until you get it just right. Some people like them firm, soft in the middle, flipped. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. Just keep cooking them nicely. Okay? Now, all we're going to do next, now we got that heated up a little bit, all we're going to do, we're going to drop the egg in there. Okay, pretty simple, right? So in the egg goes. And then what I like to do, I just like to just mix it a little bit, because you can see some of the egg starts to cook straight away. So my mum would probably kill me if she saw me using a metal fork in a non-stick frying pan. John, that's why it sticks to the bottom. Okay, hopefully she's not watching this. So anyway, don't use a metal fork in the non-stick frying pan. This thing's old, I'm getting rid of it soon. So what I've done, I'm making it easy. Here we go, we'll get the plastic one. And all I'm doing, I'm just gently pushing down the edges, so it doesn't stick to the side too much. For some reason this is cooking on one side more than the other. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep opening it a little bit until it's there's almost no liquid left that you can see, so it's all starting to go firm. Okay, I'm going to just spread it out a little bit. Okay, you can see there the liquid is nearly all gone. So at this point, what I'll do, I will drop my tomatoes in. All they're going to do is just warm up a little bit. I like tasting food that is still a little bit raw. Okay. I'm going to take my spice, and I love this. The great thing with spices, you can mix together lots of different spices, and it's going to help you. Spices are good for you. Okay. And then lastly, you see now, see it's getting nice and fluffy. The edges, it's not sticking too much, so it's coming away. It's nearly done. There's a little bit of liquid left. I'm just going to put in the mozzarella cheese. Okay, there's the mozzarella cheese gone in. And now what I want to try and do, I want to just fold it in half. Hopefully if I've left it in long enough, it should fold. Ideally, a bigger spatula would be nicer. Ooh, can you see that? Okay, it's quite a heavily filled omelette, so it's all spilling out, but who cares, right? So now you can see what I'm doing, I'm just cooking it on one side, then I'll flip it back onto the other side. And I'll just give it a minute, and now this is where it all goes wrong. Flip it onto this side. See, it's starting to brown on the edges, and it's still going to be quite soft in the middle. Heat's turned off, and there we go. Let's just get you a nice focus. And that, my friends, is a lovely, beautiful omelette. Okay, can you all see that? And there it is. Voila, very easy. So there we are, that's my omelette. And this is kind of, well, by now this is a bit like a brunch. I'm past breakfast, but I'm not quite at lunch.